You might have a few questions after seeing this battle in Paper Mario the Origami King. And because of how this game was programmed, very few people have seen this battle. You might be wondering, why is the background all blue? Why are there 5 rings instead of 4 rings? Was the game originally planned to have 5 rings instead of 4 rings in battles? Why is Mario fighting against toads? Why do the toads shrink before they attack? And why was the game programmed this way? To answer these questions, we first have to head to the jungle at Shangri Spa. Do you remember this part of Shangri Spa where you run past a piranha plant, then a chain chomp eats up that piranha plant, and then the chain chomp chases Mario as you try to run away from it? This is the part of the game that we have to focus on for this battle. So this piranha plant shoots out fireballs at you, and you take damage in the overworld if you get hit by these fireballs. Normally, Mario can't reach this piranha plant in any way, and it's really important to note that. Mario can't reach this piranha plant because of the invisible walls that prevent him from walking off this ledge, so he can't reach the platform where the piranha plant is. But if you edit Mario's vertical position, you can go high enough to pass over these invisible walls that prevent you from reaching the piranha plant, and you can get to the piranha plant and trigger a battle. Our 5-ring toad battle begins if we get close enough to this piranha plant. First, I'll explain why this strange battle happens, and then we'll take a look at just how strange this battle can get. So why do we have a battle with a blue background like this? Why are we fighting against toads? The answer to these questions is really similar to what happens in the original Paper Mario game from the year 2000. There are some enemies in the game that you can't normally reach, and these enemies are given a specific battle ID by default. In the original Paper Mario game, there are some out-of-bound enemies that you can reach by getting Mario out of bounds, and reaching these enemies triggers this default battle. In the original Paper Mario, this default battle is a battle against the single Goomba. In Paper Mario the Origami King, this default battle is this blue background where you fight against toads and there are 5 rings instead of 4 rings. And you might be wondering, how much weirder can this battle get? And that's exactly what we're going to test right now. Let's start by first striking the piranha plant. Instead of the regular blue battle art that you see the red-pink art that normally comes up when you see Mario jump on a spiky enemy or when an enemy first strikes Mario. And you might have noticed that the red streamer music is playing. But when the battle starts, Mario jumps on the toad, and the toad takes damage instead of Mario taking damage, and after a moment, the toad disappears. Some more toads appear, and we get a lineup locked message come up, even though we didn't make any ring moves yet. You can also see that these toads are called goombas if you hover over them, and they're not actually toads. Things in this battle are pretty strange. If you try to use a fire flower, it doesn't show Mario using the item, Mario doesn't use the fire flower to transform, Mario doesn't even attack, and after it says Mario's turn, it immediately becomes enemy's turn right after that. You might have noticed that Kamek also doesn't have a turn to attack in this battle. The toads get to attack Mario with head bonks, and they shrink, very small, before they attack and turn back to normal. This shrinking while performing an animation is something that you could also see if you replace some character models in this game with other character models. As an example, if we replace Bobby's model with the model for Bobby's ghost, we see him shrink as he shifts over on his seat, which isn't something we see with the regular Bobby model in the game. But let's go back to our battle. Remember what happens if you jump on the piranha plant where the lineup was locked right away? Let's start the battle by just walking into the enemy. We still have the red streamer music play, but this time we have 2 ring moves instead of getting a lineup locked message right away. You might be wondering about why there are 5 rings instead of 4. The toads can't be moved to the 5th outermost ring. They can only be in the 4 inner rings, just like in normal battles. I'm guessing that this 5th ring is here just for viewing the animation of sliding the toads and tiles across the board. It is possible, but I wouldn't bet on it, that maybe the game was planned to originally have 5 rings, but I think the 5th ring here just acts as a temporary placeholder for when you slide enemies across the board like this. You can let me know in a comment what you'd think of this game if puzzles and battles had 5 rings instead of 4 rings. If we ask Olivia for a hint in this battle, she'll say, "Look who's here, Mario! Your friends will join you in battles too! They've got your back! Go team! I don't know if Olivia is talking about Kamek here, but Kamek clearly doesn't have my back in this battle because he doesn't even attack. If you try using a POW block, which should hit all of these toads, you get a message that the attack missed. It might look like these toads are on the ground, but they must be actually flying. Maybe toads are normal flying types. If you ask Olivia for another hint after that, she says, if you aren't able to line the enemies up just right, try using an item. Some of them might help out a lot. Well, the POW block should have hit all of them, and that certainly didn't help out a lot. Using a fire flower doesn't even let Mario attack. Using the tail is one of the only items that we can actually use to damage the toads. Even getting an excellent action command for the POW block still doesn't damage the toads and the attack still misses. You might also be wondering what happens if you game over during this fight. Surprisingly, that's one of the most normal things, and Mario can die normally in this battle and get a game over. What happens if we run away? Well, you can also successfully run away from this battle, and the enemy just disappears after we run away, just like what happens if you run away from a normal fight. I have another video that explains how running away from battles works in this game if you're interested in that. Do you remember the cutscene that normally plays if we continue along this path? The one that shows the chain chomp eating up the piranha plant? What happens if we defeat the piranha plant, and then we continue along this path? In some past videos, we've seen that animations or dialogue being triggered from invisible characters can crash the game. But in this case, there's still confetti flying around while the chain chomp eats nothing, because the piranha plant's model isn't there anymore because we already defeated the 4 toads in the default battle. And here is one last fun fact as a special treat for those of you that watch to the end of the video. If you're able to sneak behind the chain chomp and hammer it in a certain way, the chain chomp just disappears. And after this chain chomp disappears, it's not that it just becomes invisible, it seems like it's actually gone because I couldn't get caught by the chain chomp once it disappeared, and if we jump on this rope, the cutscene still plays, but there's no chain chomp, so that was certainly fun. A big thank you to RandomSauce88 for letting me use the clip of Mario getting out of bounds and attacking an out of bounds enemy in Paper Mario. If you're a fan of Paper Mario, or speedrunning, or glitch hunting, or if you like my content, definitely go check him out. He's got a fantastic channel and a lovely live stream. I hope all of you have a great day. A big thank you to my Patreon supporters, and take care everybody. Hope to see you in the next one.